Hi, I'm Audrey Fletcher, and I'm here today to take you on a journey to discover the location of the fourth standard of precession, the Standard of the Bull. Using only a 16,020-year-old star map as my guide, it will lead me to a perfect replica of the constellation of Taurus created here on Earth in Lower Egypt. After a brief recap of the whereabouts of the previous three standards of precession, we will take our first steps on this incredible journey. It was in Part 7 that I introduced the Great Year, comprising the 4 seasons, the 12 ages and the precession of the equinoxes. I also identified that the beginning of a new zodiacal season is marked by the standards of the lion, the bull, the man and the eagle, as illustrated in the above diagram, which I created in 1999. However, as previously mentioned, only 3 of these standards are to be found on the Giza Plateau, those of the man, the lion and the eagle, being represented by the Sphinx and the 3 pyramids behind him in the west. So, the question now arises, where is the 4th standard, the Standard of the Bull? For the answer to this question, we need to once again consult the sky chart created by the long-lost and long-forgotten civilization of the remote ancient Egyptians over 16,000 years ago. I wonder, can you locate the 4th standard of precession near the Great Sphinx at Giza using only the sky map as a tool? In order to locate the 4th standard, the Standard of the Bull, near the Giza Plateau, several steps need to be taken. Step 1. Take note of the position of the 4th standard. It is marked by the constellation of Taurus the Bull and recorded to the southeast of the Celestial Sphinx on the sky chart above. Step 2. Investigate a satellite image of the area to the southeast of the Giza Plateau, often referred to as the Giza Necropolis. Step 3. Construct a line from the Giza Necropolis to any named towns or cities, in this case Helwan. And finally, Step 4. Measure the angle created, which turns out to be 55 degrees to the southeast of the Giza Necropolis. In Step 5, the information of the measured angle of 55 degrees needs to be transferred onto the Celestial Sphinx sky chart. The steps required are A. Invert the Google Earth map to correspond with the Celestial Sphinx sky chart. B. After transferring the information to the sky chart, as above, check out the main stars in the constellation of Taurus to determine which star equates with the city of Helwan. C. It will now be recognized that Helwan is the earthly counterpart of the blue-white giant star Elnath, the second brightest star in the constellation of Taurus. As above, so below. To say that I was astonished when I discovered the alignment on the previous slide is an understatement. An early name for Helwan was Rune, translating as High Oon, and as Oon was Heliopolis, it follows that Helwan was, at some time in the past, a southern province of Heliopolis. Helwan had been waiting in the wings since 14,000 BC, but finally it fulfilled its destiny when it came to prominence during the Age of Taurus, when it became the main necropolis for the great city of Memphis. More than 10,000 burials have been discovered there, considered to date back to Dynasty 0 through to the 3rd dynasty, when Djoser built his step pyramid at nearby Sequeira. Central to the Helwan necropolis are stone mastabas, or underground burial chambers, and it is around these that the rest of the grave pits, including many kist burials, are situated. Today, Helwan is a large industrial town with its own university, observatory, power plant, fertilizer plant, iron, steel, and textile industries. In Step 6, we need to zoom in to Google Earth to discover another ancient site which is located in the Helwan area. That is Memphis, which was mentioned in relation to Helwan on the previous slide. And then we need to repeat the process, having first measured the angle at which Memphis lies southeast of the Sphinx, which turns out to be 40 degrees. It has now been determined that Memphis is the earthly counterpart of the orange giant star Aldebaran, the brightest star in the constellation of Taurus. As above, so below. Memphis, the city of the white walls, being the earthly counterpart of Aldebaran, the brightest star in the constellation of Taurus, which was of course the celestial fourth standard, it would have been considered as the major site or city in Lower Egypt from as early as 14,000 BC, when the sky map was created. Flanked on either side by Helwan and Saqqara, it finally saw its rise during the age of Taurus. By sheer coincidence, Memphis was strategically positioned at the mouth of the Nile Delta and is traditionally considered to be the first capital of ancient Egypt during the Old Kingdom. The original name of the city of Memphis is generally considered to have been Hhòoooooooo, translating as Mansion of the Soul of Pitar. However, according to the Shabaka stone, the founders of Memphis subordinated and assimilated all aspects of the Osiris cosmogony in favour of Pitar and the new Memphite cosmogony. As the new Memphite cosmogony was based upon the Taurus Bull, which was considered to be the manifestation of Pitar, it follows that this radical change of cosmogony could only have transpired as a result of the dawning of the age of Taurus. Moreover, as Pitar usurped the position of Osiris, this indicates a well-developed, advanced and enlightened pre-dynastic Osiric culture. In this pre-dynastic Osiric culture, Osiris, in his earliest Axis Mundi form of a tamarisk tree trunk, was called Djed. Over time, the tree trunk was replaced by the imagery of a pillar, which became known as the Djed pillar, the pillar of stability. Osiris metaphorically became as one with the tree of life. He became the Axis Mundi, around which the heavens appear to revolve. He became the world pillar, the link between the terrestrial and celestial worlds. And, as such, Osiris was an integral part of the precession of the equinoxes. Pitar usurped this position of the world pillar, the Axis Mundi, when the new Memphite cosmogony was established, following the dawn of the age of Taurus in 4468 BC. However, Pitar had not only usurped the role of Cyrus as the Axis Mundi, also known as the Jed Pillar, but also he usurped the role of the Celestial Sphinx as the father of the gods from whom all life emerged. Clearly, the Celestial Sphinx and his role in the heavens had now been discarded and forgotten. It was now Pitar who was considered to be the creator of the universe in this new Taurian Memphite cosmogony, and the Apis bull was considered to be the manifestation of Pitar. Pitar, in his role as the Axis Mundi, and the Apis bull as the manifestation of Pitar, confirms that the knowledge of the precession of the equinoxes was known to the elite few of ancient Egypt, and also that Egypt was, at that time, in the zodiacal season of Taurus the Bull. In step 7, we need once again to zoom in to Google Earth to discover another ancient site which is located in the Helwan area. That is Sequeira, which was previously mentioned in relation to Memphis. And then we need to repeat the process yet again. Having first measured the angle at which Saqqara lies southeast of the Sphinx, which turns out to be 30 degrees. It has now been determined that Sequeira is the earthly counterpart of the blue-white subgiant star Mu Tauri in the constellation of Taurus. As above, so below. Sequeira is yet another necropolis for the city of Memphis, and is best known as a cemetery for the Memphite elite classes, which included kings, nobles and priests, the remainder of Memphite society being buried at Helwan. However, in 2011, about 8 million mummified animals and birds were also discovered at Sequeira. As well as pyramids and tombs, the necropolis at Sequeira also includes the Serapeum, which was discovered in 1850 by Auguste Mariette. The caverns housed the mummified Apis bulls of Memphis in death, with the oldest being estimated to date only as far back as 1350 BC. This sounds all very much straightforward, but a mystery lies at the heart of the sarcophagi when a comparison is made between the obvious sophisticated engineering of the sarcophagi with that of the pyramids of Sequeira. They are of a different age. I would suggest that the sarcophagi are not only of the same antiquity as the sky map, but also, it would follow, of the same antiquity as the Sphinx and the pyramids at Giza. That is, more than 16,000 years old, as they are a component of the fourth standard of precession. The pictures to the right of the screen tell their own story. The sky maps to the left of the screen not only summarize my amazing discoveries, they are also crucial in terms of understanding the nature of the fourth standard, the Standard of the Bull. We have learned that Helwan is the earthly counterpart of the blue-white giant star Elnath, the second brightest star in the constellation of Taurus. Memphis is the earthly counterpart of the orange giant star Aldebaran, the brightest star in the constellation of Taurus. And Sequeira is the earthly counterpart of the blue-white subgiant star Mu Tauri in the constellation of Taurus. Finally, the positioning of Helwan, Memphis and Sequeira replicate the fourth standard of precession, the Standard of the Bull, on the Celestial Sphinx sky map. As above, so below. It was in part 3 that I gradually revealed the grand design and purpose of the ground plan at Giza, the creation of heaven on earth. Let us look once again to the stars and the sky chart, which can only have been created by the remote ancient Egyptians. It holds the secret of precession, the zodiacal season markers, the standards of the lion, the man, the bull, and the eagle. The Sphinx at Giza has the body of a lion and the face of a man. He is the embodiment of two standards of precession, the lion and the man. Behind him at Giza is a third standard of precession, the eagle, represented by the three pyramids. Helwan, Memphis, and Saqqara represent the fourth standard of precession, the Standard of the Bull, on the Celestial Sphinx sky map, and as a result they are inseparable and interdependent. Similarly, because they are part of the same star map, which represents the four standards of the precession of the equinoxes, they are inseparable from and interdependent upon the Sphinx and the pyramids, and are therefore of the same antiquity. It was not only in the construction of the GIZA complex, but also in the site plan of Helwan, Memphis and Saqqara, to so exactly replicate their heavenly counterparts, that the remote ancient Egyptians were able to recreate the four standards of precession here on Earth. In previous videos, I have determined that the sky map dates back to as early as 14,000 BC. However, as this event also occurred at intervals of 25,920 years before 14,000 BC, due to precession, in reality, the Giza complex could be dated back to as early as 39,920 BC, as too could the sites of Helwan, Memphis, and Saqqara. This has been an amazing quest in search of the fourth standard of precession, the Standard of the Bull, using only a 16,020-year-old star map as my guide. It has led me to a perfect replica of the constellation of Taurus, created here on Earth more than 16,000 years ago at what is now Memphis, Helwan and Saqqara in Egypt. Located to the southeast of the Sphinx at Giza, as indicated on the star map, the area fulfilled its destiny during the more recent age of Taurus. As above, so below. The Celestial Sphinx sky map is the key to unlocking the sacred knowledge and ancient mysteries of a long-lost and long-forgotten civilization. A civilization which is ancient beyond historical time. It is ancient according to astronomical and geological time. It is an ancient civilization belonging to the annals of antiquity. I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation and will subscribe to my channel. I look forward to sharing with you my continued research into the ancient Egyptians in my next video. Bye for now.